Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Migrant encounters, they topped Bill 190,000
there's a
December.
Well, tonight, the nation's intelligence agencies are warning of cyber threats from Russia and are urging U.S. critical infrastructure defenses to be reinforced.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population,
paying insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, the COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance in comparison.
Ooh, don't do it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get this disclaimer out of the way.
No. Wait.
Following content you're about to see and hear is pure fiction. It's not real, folks. Totally make-believe, made up. And it's for entertainment purposes only. My points, my views, my opinions that I express here is not shared by anybody that I am affiliated with or anything that I am affiliated with. Alright. Now that that's out of the way. Lots going on, folks. And before I get to anything, I don't know if you guys saw or heard, but Wild Bill came out with a statement in regards to the allegations to his very many island trips that he's taken. All right, so we'll put that up now. And, you know, there's always two sides to every story, folks. So we got to give him the fair shot on hearing him out. So let's hear what he has to say.
My fellow Americans, today you may be waiting for the highly anticipated Epstein client list to be released. So while I know you may see what appears to be my name on the list, I'd like to argue that I did not have sexual relations with those children on that island. Would it even count, though? It wasn't in the United States. Also, if you add up their ages, I'm sure it was above 18. Jeff told me since it was outside of the jurisdiction.
Bill, what the hell are you doing?
No, Hillary, I'm not confessing.
You idiot. Do I always have to clean up your mess?
What are you doing? What? No, wait. Please don't hurt the cameraman. He had nothing to do with this. No, Hillary, that was my friend. He wasn't a witness.
Hey, he's pretty much on point, if you ask me. Ain't no two ways about that. Yeah, I'll give it to him. Pretty much what I expected to hear. Anyway, folks, moving forward into some real serious news here. There's a few things I want to cover today. But before I do, there is this story that's been floating around that, in my opinion, hasn't been getting too much attention in the MSM. And why would it? Because the MSM is what? It's the mouthpiece propaganda BS that comes out of the lunatic liberal left. All right, they're just a mouthpiece for them idiots, for them morons.
Hey, moron! Duh!
Yeah, exactly it. That's pretty much what the lunatic left is. Anyway, this story that's floating around, I don't know if you guys heard, but there was an open letter, okay, put out to the public by 241 current and former military service members. And in the letter, they're basically calling out senior military leadership in regards to the mandates. All right, we all remember the mandates that the military service members had to undergo in order to stay in. They had to get that thing, right, in order to stay enlisted or in order to enlist. All right, well, there was a bunch of military service members that disagreed with that. They made their own choice, and kudos to them for being free thinkers and being in control of their own destiny. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I think it was over 8,000 military service members that got the boot. All right, they got kicked out of the military because they refused to take that thing. All right, their livelihoods were robbed from them. Okay, excuse the sirens here in the background. I am in a ghetto. Probably another drive-by shooting or an overdose, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, back to it, folks. So 8,000 plus service members got the boot because they refused to get that thing. And again, livelihoods were destroyed. And along with that, there was financial hardships on the lives of them, and not only them, but their families. Okay. They were unemployed. Their employer fired them. Pretty much, if you break it down, because they refused to get that thing. Okay. I think I've pretty much covered that. So what happens? They turn around and they lift these mandates. They say, oh, well, you know, we decided to change our minds. It was a mistake, quote unquote, to have these mandates. So we're going to let you guys back in that we kicked out, that, you know, we pretty much ruined your fucking lives over. And they eased the requirements for recruitments, saying that, you know, if you're getting recruited into the military, you don't need to take this thing. Well, if you look at the recruitment numbers, they're at all-time lows. Trying to get rid of the sun glare here. They're at all-time lows, right? So, of course, they would lift the mandates. Well, these 241 military service members, current and former, pretty much said, no, we're not. This isn't going to work out the way you want it to. All right, we're not just going to come back in and forget what you did to us. All right, the scrutiny that you put us under. All right, the fact that we were vilified. All right, the fact that we were embarrassed. All right, because we all remember. Right, we all remember the treatment of people that refused to get this thing, that made the conscious decision to not get this thing.
What happened to you? You were censored. You were thrown in Facebook jail. You were labeled a bioterrorist. It was called misinformation. You were disowned by family members. You were fired from your job. You were treated like a leper. You were treated like a subhuman, when all you were doing, you were just asking questions.
All right, they were called out for it, and this was in all walks of life, folks. All right, not only the military. All right, again, the mouthpiece led the charge on that, and they were pretty much scrutinizing and demonizing people that didn't get this thing. All right, we all saw the social media clips of people walking into stores or other businesses and saying, hey, you don't got this thing on your face, or you know, you can't shop here and this and that. And then, of course, we got the nurses and doctors who were one day they're heroes, right? And the next day they're unemployed and they're being demonized. All right, so it was just a big mess. It was a big shit show, and a lot of folks were being ridiculed. So moving forward, these guys that wrote the letter, current former military service members, they want to hold the military leaders accountable now. They want to say, you know what? You're not going to get let off the hook that easy. We want to see court-martials happen. All right, they specifically named retired General Mark Milley. Okay, he was one of the named individuals in this letter. And the long and short of it is this. They're putting these guys on blast. They want to see accountability happen. They want to see these people be court-martialed because they feel that they were mistreated, these military service members, right? They felt that the action taken by military leadership was unconstitutional. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. All right. I have my own speculations, and I don't know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but I'm going to share it on here. And I would implore any current or former military service members that are watching this video, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think. So my question is this to you folks. Could this backfire on them? This 241. All right, we'll call it the 241. In other words, they're calling for court martials for military leaders, senior leadership. Could senior military leadership turn around and court martial these guys or punish them for making this this public statement, right? Could they say, hey, you're violating the public's trust by calling us out? Especially you folks that are still enlisted, right? You need to be held accountable for it, right? So that's my question. Could that backfire on them? And I hope it doesn't, because I'm going to make it abundantly clear right now, I 100% support the 241 doing what they did, calling out the big guys, all right? Because I'll tell you what, we live in a day and age, folks, that if you call out the big guy, all right, and you go against the grain, you express an opinion or even a concern or ask questions that dissents or goes against the agenda, a lot of times you're going to get punished for it. Okay, I'm just saying, you will get punished for it. They don't like being called out. Why is that? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, plain and simple, they're in charge, you're not. All right, you're just a fucking nobody to them. All right, so they can say and do whatever they want to you. All right, sad to say, they rule over you. You answer to them. All right, when it comes down to it, you know. And of course, we all have choices. We can say, "Fuck that," you know. I don't want to work for them. I want to quit the military, you know. Or I want to quit this job. I want to quit X, Y, or Z job and start somewhere new where, you know, I'm not working for a bunch of fucking tyrants, you know. And everybody's free to make that choice, right? We are not quite North Korea yet. Okay, we're still America. We still have our freedoms. But with that said, yeah, the tyrant hates being called out. And why do I use the word tyrant? Because it's almost like a tyranny, what we're seeing and what we're living under nowadays. You can't ask those questions. Look what's happening to a former U.S. president by asking questions, right? He's under indictments for basically asking questions about the results of an election. Making statements saying that an election could have been rigged, whatever. And he's being, and this is a former president that they're doing this to. So imagine like what could happen to these 241 individuals. Apparently, and I'll get off of this subject because there's a lot more to get to. I'll end it with this. Apparently, these service members set up a website that you can go to. I'll leave it in the description box. And it's for current and former military service members to log on and electronically sign this letter. And the last time I checked, it was up to tens of thousands of signatures already on this thing. So they're making a lot of noise, and kudos to them. All right. I hope that everything works out in their favor. I do. So moving on. Folks, I don't know if you really know what's going on in Ecuador right now. It's a country in South America. All right. It's actually a hub for Chinese nationals to depart from, to head up here into the U.S. to our southern border. In other words, they're flying into Ecuador, and they're using Ecuador as that staging area, I guess, if you want to call it. All right, so that's just one thing to chew on, keep under your hat. But Ecuador itself is in a world of shit. There's an internal conflict going on in that country right now, and it's almost like it erupted overnight. All right, so what exactly is happening? Well, there are various prisons that have been pretty much overrun by the inmates, okay? The prison guards, correctional officers, whatever you want to call them, they lost the facilities down there in Ecuador. And the videos that are being put up on social media is fucking disgusting. What these inmates are doing to these officers, these prison guards. It's disgusting. I'm not even allowed to show it on here because I'll probably catch a strike on this video, and FruitTube will probably take the video down. But if you look it up, for those of you that have X or Twitter, and you look up what's going on in Ecuador, you're going to see the videos. I mean, it's showing inmates executing officers on camera. They're hanging them. They're shooting them in the back of the head, execution style. And it's not only occurring in the prisons. There are tens and thousands of gang members of various different gangs in Ecuador that have overran and overtaken the streets and are publicly executing people in broad daylight in the streets. There was a TV station taken over. All right, I'll actually put that video up now. You can check that out.
Que se vaya la policía. Que se vaya la policía. Que se vaya la policía. Dile que tenemos bomba. Y esa. Arriba hay más, dice. Sí. Ahora como si fuera que se vaya. Pero dile que yo no le tengo nada. Ya diciendo, mamá, ya le decía. Dile lo que pasa
So there you go. So why is this all happening? What's happening in Ecuador? Well, this, folks, is all in the response of, I guess it was a high notoriety gang leader. All right, he goes by the nickname Fito, F-I-T-O. Okay, and somehow he escaped. Okay, he was under heavy security and heavy guard, but somehow this man escaped along with another gang leader in another prison somewhere down in Ecuador. And since he escaped, all these gangs came together. And again, it's just an internal conflict between the gangs and Ecuadorian law enforcement and military. So the president of Ecuador, I think his name is Noboa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he called for martial law. Okay. And again, this is just something that just popped within the past couple of days. It's almost like it happened overnight. So some of you might be asking, well, what's the deal with Ecuador with their gun laws? Well, folks, you might be surprised to hear their gun laws are pretty similar to ours. Their citizens are allowed to carry down there. They have to have a permit just like we do up here. All right. So why am I talking about Ecuador? What's that have to do with us here at home? Well, folks, you can compare, you could take a look at Ecuador and you could say this could be a preview of what's to come in America. Okay. In particular, the root cause why that could be a problem here in America is because of our southern border. All right. And I'm going to keep pouncing on this subject because we don't have a southern border anymore, in my opinion. All right. We are being invaded in record numbers every month. And it's being allowed, and former Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden seems to be not doing anything about it, doesn't care, all right? His whole strategy is he's replacing us, all right? He's replacing us with future voters, okay? Why is he doing that? Well, because he knows that his party can't win another legitimate election unless he gets more voters into these states. All right, and that's just my opinion. All right, you can take it however you want. That's just how I'm looking at it, and that's why we're being invaded. That's one of the reasons why. I could really jump down a rabbit hole here and get into some shit as to other reasons why I think we're being invaded, but that's for a whole nother video at a whole nother time. All right, the fact of the matter is this. We have record number amounts of people coming into this country. A lot of them are dangerous, all right? And it would be a joke to think that if we don't have any terrorists here in this country right now, just waiting for the moment to launch a coordinated attack countrywide, i.e. mass shootings at the same time, in cities, thickly settled populated areas, something that's gonna like really strike at the heart of this nation. It would be a joke for you folks to believe that's not gonna happen. It would be a joke for you people to believe that we are actually safe under this administration, okay? Because we're not, all right? And we are seeing proof of that every day. Could there be a coordinated attack like we're seeing down in Ecuador right now happening here in the U.S.? Absolutely. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. All right. Do I see that happening this year in 2024? I'm not going to say quite possibly. I'm going to say quite probably. And it sucks to say that, folks. All right. But what's happening this year? Well, we got a presidential election occurring in November, right? These people do not want Donald Trump back in office. All right. They are demonstrating to us that they will do anything possible to keep this man from getting elected. All right. From bringing ridiculous charges against him that are not going to go anywhere, to attempting to kick him off of ballots. Okay. Colorado did it. The state of Maine did it. Matter of fact, who is it? Is it the, I'm not sure what her title is in Maine, but she did put up, she did make a statement as to her, logic why she kicked Trump off the ballot in Maine. All right, I'm going to show that now, and you guys tell me what you think in the comments. See if this makes sense. Go ahead and take a look at this.
Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt eine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingesetzt bin.
But there you go. I mean, it all makes sense now, right? What the agenda is of people like her and the people that follow her. That's exactly what this is all about. All right. And this is sadly, this is where we're headed as a society. All right. These are the people that are in power right now. All right, guys. And, you know, you got former Vice President Biden that is saying that white supremacy, right, is the biggest problem, the biggest threat to our national security.
A record 81 million people voted for my candidacy.
And MAGA bad, and you know, we're extremists and we're the terrorists, according to former Vice President Joseph Biden. What? Right? It's unbelievable what the times we are living under. Okay. So with that all said, guys, we're in for one hell of a ride. We need to stay vigilant. Okay. We need to keep our heads on a swivel. All right. We live in a day and age right now where we have to protect our families, ourselves. Okay. We have to protect our loved ones. All right. I got a 1-month-old baby daughter at home. All right. It's my fundamental right and responsibility to her and her mother to protect her and keep them safe, along with my other children that I have and my grandson. All right. Sad to say, but in my opinion, law enforcement today just isn't equipped to handle what we are witnessing happening in our society, right? Criminals are getting away with anything and everything they can with soft punishment. We are seeing it, all right? And God forbid, if you want to be that type of person that wants to be a good Samaritan and step in and help protect and save your fellow citizen from being terrorized, such as being beaten, robbed, possibly killed, all right? The good Samaritan will get the fucking book thrown at him, All right, and that's what we're seeing, and it's all by design, guys. All right, you can't change my mind on it. It's all by design. But anyway, folks, the threat is real. All right, keep preparing. All right, now is the time to stock up on food, water, gasoline, gas for the generators. All right, other provisions and essentials. You know, first aid kits, candles, lighters, extra blankets to keep you warm in the cold months. Have a plan to bug out. Have that bug out bag ready. You can see right in back of me, I keep a get home bag right here in the back of the truck here. Actually, you probably can't see in back of me because of my little background here. And about the background, guys, in closing, I've had some comments. Hey, what's up with the background, Mad? We kind of like the natural scene of just you and your surroundings. Well, folks, the background art that I'm using is from 1984. All right, that dystopia book and movie. All right, about a totalitarian government in charge of the world. Okay, I'm getting all that art from 1984. All right, and I feel that like it just fits the narrative of the content that I put on this channel. So that's what's up with the background. If it's a little too much, I get it. But all in all, I do appreciate your support, and I hope you keep watching my content as I can put it out as much as I can. All right, so that's the broadcast for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.